Hello, welcome to PaynePoints of Interest with Sarah Harbuck. Today, my co host is Ben Harbuck. We want to tell the stories of people, their businesses, and the journey that they are currently on. Our purpose here at PaynePoints is to gather a new perspective on starting, growing, maturing, and maintaining businesses of all sizes. So grab that cup of coffee and sit back, and we'll start this discussion. All right, guys, welcome. Today we have a special guest calling all the way from over the phone lines, Abu Saeed, and he is here to talk to us today about Wildhood clothing. Hello, how are you, Saeed? How's it going?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you so much for taking the time today to talk with us and tell us a little bit about kind of how you got your start, this clothing line that you guys have going. Give us the kind of your bio and how the business came to be.
Thank you so much for having me. So yeah, like you just said, I started a clothing business, and I'm based of Canada right now. I'm living in Canada.
Awesome.
I'm an immigrant. Came to Canada in 2013 from Bangladesh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, for those who is listening, don't know where Bangladesh is in Asia.
Yes.
So I grew up in the north part of Bangladesh, and I grew up in a small community. When I was a child, my dream always was to have a fridge, because the community I was living in, we didn't have any fridge in the whole community.
Oh, wow.
Right, so it was to me magic, like if you're putting something in a fridge like water and you're getting ice cubes. So I was just giving you the like pictures, so you can
Yeah.
actually think of like how I grew up in what community.
That's something we take for granted here, I think.
Absolutely.
How
So
how
yeah,
how big was your community? How many people?
I think it was pretty much maybe 10,000 people.
Okay.
Wow.
In Yeah. So yeah, I grew up in that neighborhood, but we were the only one fortunate, I would say, in this community, because my dad worked really hard, make his own business slowly, gradually, and I seen him like, hustling and doing his own stuff and taking care of us. And slowly, as we grew up, my dad actually moved from this community to a better one, slowly, to actually put us in a nice school, good school. And he was focusing on how can we do better, like what he didn't get, like the resources, like a
Yeah.
good school, like a good environment,
I
something
mean,
like
that's what
that.
most parents do, right? They try to give their kids better than what they had.
Absolutely. Yeah, so then slowly I started going to college, and I was just like not happy. I was just like thinking that I'm being a part of the system,
Yeah.
like of the machine, whereas I wanted to be the machine. I
Okay.
wanted to be free. I wanted to work on my own. I wanted to create something meaningful, beautiful. But in Asia, the culture is different, when you are going to school, like the whole system is actually, making you ready to work for someone else.
Right.
Just saying like, okay, follow the order, do this, 9 to 5, work, repeat it every day, and
And
then
that,
you die.
that's kind of how it is here in the U.S., actually. If you go to school, they're preparing you for a job just like you described. It's I think entrepreneurship is not as encouraged as you would
Hmm.
think it would be. But yeah, that sounds very familiar.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, if you go for right now, if you go for, like a loan to start a business, it would be much harder than going for college and get into debt. Then
Right,
you are
sure.
spending your 5, 10 years to pay for the debt that the system put you into.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
So yeah, I was actually like, I was just looking for opportunities to do my things, and I started like through the like the pressure from social sites, because in Asia it's like the social status is judged by how well of a job you have, or
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
how well established you are. It's all measured by your social status, by your job, your like money, your
Yeah,
fame, how
Uh-huh.
right.
many people actually cheering you up. So yeah, it was actually really hard growing up in that environment, but I was like, I think I would wear differently. I was like always. I just listened to myself. I didn't listen to my dad always wanted to have us, like an easy life. He knows how hard it is because he did it. He lived through it.
Yeah, sure.
He was kind of scared that where I'm going into. So he was just saying, it's hard. But my mom was always like the opposite. She was like always supporting me.
Mm-hmm.
So while I was in university, I was doing pharmacy, but I didn't like it. I mean, I bunked so many classes. I just did it. I mean, I just did it for the sake of doing it.
Right.
So, like I said, I was going into the system. Like I was sucked into the system.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think I read it in somewhere that Canada is a land of opportunity.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, and then I was just wondering that we're all gonna die someday. Doesn't
Yes.
matter, what you believe in, if you believe in something or if you believe in nothing at all.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna die. So I thought I will try. I'll see what's on the other part of the world.
Yeah, I mean
And
that's a scary leap to take.
yes,
Not only starting a business, but moving to a completely different country that you were not familiar with. I can imagine that provided some struggle and obstacle as well.
absolutely. I mean, like the first time when I started to apply so many places for job, I did some course online. I did pharmacy service, I did hotel management, I did hospitality, trade courses online. I did some training. I was hustling to get into Canada, and it's not easy actually. Like for the people who lives in here, they think it's easy because
Right.
they don't know the whole process. But I think I waited like 2.5 years just to
Oh, wow.
finish the process. And but finally, I moved to Canada, and then I said, "Oh my God," because I never seen snow before.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah.
I never seen snow before. The vast landscape, different kind of people. Moreover, I did not know English properly. I just
Okay.
knew like few words, hello,
Yeah.
hi, good morning, good night, things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first day when I arrived in Canada, my ride didn't show up, and I had to sleep on the airport floor.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Because I don't know where to go. I left. It took me like 36 hours to get into Canada, and another, I think roughly 20 hours to get into my apartment, which
Yes.
Oh,
takes
wow.
now like 5-7 minutes. It's a 7 minutes drive,
Oh, goodness. That
and that's
sounds
how
like
I
a.
started my
Oh.
journey in Canada.
Now,
This-
did you already have a job when you moved or no?
Yes, I did had a job,
Okay.
and from my job, someone was supposed to pick me up, but they were out of town,
Okay.
and
that sounds like a like a nightmare in a way. You're stuck at an airport, waiting to get out and go live your life in this new place, and not, you've got the language barrier, you have, the culture barrier. I mean, that's very admirable to take that leap of faith and leave
yeah, like
your home and everything that's familiar and go someplace else. But it sounds like you needed to feed your soul and do something different. And it sounds like you've started that journey.
absolutely, absolutely, yes. I think like that's what makes me stronger.
Yeah.
Than like I'm like out of my comfort zone. I'm trying to this is like pure survival for me then, right?
Yeah.
Uh, I started working. It was like minus, I think like 14 or 15. It's March 5th in Newfoundland. It's like
Oh,
extremely cold. And I walked to the nearest hotel, but they didn't have any available rooms. So I had to walk back because I don't know how to call a taxi
Yes.
and I don't have a phone. So then I like, okay, this is life. Like, I know what I'm getting into. But I enjoyed every bit of it.
you,
That
you get
taught me
that.
a lot of things.
Yeah, that very rough start, I'm sure, helped you kind of build a really good base to build off of as you got familiar with your surroundings. So you had a job when you got to Canada. What, how did you work that job for a while, or did you bounce around to different
Yes.
things, or?
So I started working at the job, I think, after 2 days right away.
Okay.
So, and then I did not know anyone in here. So I was just making friends. My English was like really, really bad in comparison to how, fluent I am right now. I'm
Yeah,
like,
you
I
sound
just
good.
couldn't. Oh, thank you. So yeah, I was just like, trying to talk more with people, trying to make friends, and then I actually made a deal with someone in the workplace. I told them that I'll taught you Bengali, which is my language, and he will teach me English. So yeah, he took on to that, and I learned so much from him slowly, slowly. But by doing this, I have had so much time after, like, I was working 10 to 5 that I don't know anyone, I don't know anywhere to go. I didn't have a driving license, I didn't have anything, just work
Mm-hmm.
home,
Yeah.
work. So I was just thinking that now I'm here, what can I do? How can I utilize my time to learn something? Like I was always, so intrigued to learn new things,
Yes.
and I was just wanting to do something to add values. Either it's an existing thing or try to create something new.
Okay.
Then slowly I noticed that people are often complaining about their clothes, apparel, that hey, they just bought something from Walmart or from Sears or Source.
Yes.
Yeah.
But once it's after one wash, it's just like getting bad or losing the shape, or it's like the wash is not holding the print or other parts of the other aspects of the garments. So I was thinking, I'm from Bangladesh, which is the second largest garments exporter country in the world.
Okay.
Wow.
I thought it would be easier for me to source it from Bangladesh, and I can try. I have
Yeah.
lots of time. And as I thought, I just like, one of the things I really love about, like, the moment something strike in my head, I just like go execute on it and see if it's worth doing it or not.
Yes.
I mean, that's a good way
So
to do it.
yeah.
So
So
were you researching online?
no, so I actually made a call to my country, to my cousin, and I told him about this idea, and luckily he said, yeah, I know someone who might be a help.
Okay.
And then I told, okay, yeah, I just like like send them some money, and I said, okay, send me whatever. I just want to try. They send me some jackets over here,
Uh-huh.
and in the meantime, I think it's after 1 year me being in here, I got my driving license.
Okay.
I started to drive. So in the meantime, I started to work from 9 to 5 in the kitchen, and after that, from 5 to 3 a.m. in the morning, I was doing pizza delivery.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So I was saving, and it was cash money. I was saving cash money. I did work like 3 years just like this every single day,
You were
almost.
Okay.
hustling.
I was hustling, and in the meantime, I was maintaining a long distance relationship with my girlfriend, now my wife.
Mm-hmm.
So it was hard, and the time difference in Bangladesh and here, and I
Oh,
did not
yeah.
know so many people in here. Uh,
It sounds like you took on a lot of different things all at one time. I don't know how
yes,
anybody
I did.
juggles all that and maintains it. It sounds like you're doing it very successfully.
Yeah, I did actually. I mean, I just didn't want it to have any regrets, now that
Yeah.
now that having this conversation with you, I feel like this is success to me right now, just being able to share that wild ride,
Yeah,
where
definitely.
have I been and where I am right now is my success. So yeah, I started like that. I called and they sent me a bunch of stuff. I put an ad on Kijiji. I don't know if you're familiar with Kijiji or not.
I'm
It's like
not
an online
actually. Is it like
online
an
trading,
online
just like
job?
Craigslist,
Oh, a
just like
Craigslist.
Craigslist
Okay,
to
okay.
buy and sell stuff.
Good deal.
So yeah, then I said, wow, people are interested, messaging me, or like negotiating or just buying. And I said, wow, this is something that will really work. And it was like a proof of concept, and I think like, okay, we have something in here. Then I started to travel to my country from Canada to Bangladesh. I wanted to build a team, I wanted
Yeah.
to know every single aspects of making the garments. So right now, sitting in here, no one can hold me hostages to the business,
Mm-hmm.
or I don't need to rely on a single individuals.
Okay.
So
So
you
right,
so you went out and kind of learned all the aspects of it. Is that what you're saying? Like going back and forth to Bangladesh and Canada and figuring out the ins and outs of the clothing industry?
yes, not only the clothing industry, like how to actually make clothes from scratch.
Oh,
So
okay.
right now we are making our clothes in house. We are
Oh,
buying
wow.
the yarn, we are knitting the fabric, doing everything in house.
That is
So
fantastic.
oh, thank you. Yeah, it's quite fascinating actually. Like by knowing that it's just the fulfillment that
Yeah.
what went in there.
Right.
In your
And that
own product.
you know where the product came from because it came from your own hands.
Exactly, yeah. So I went in there just to learn the process. So there's like it's extreme engineering, like building a product from scratch.
Sure.
So I just wanted to know, so no one right now sitting in here, no one can actually lie to me or hold me hostage to the business that I don't know this, I don't know that,
I think
even though I don't have it.
that's really smart because a lot of people will start a business and then they turn it over to a bunch of other people to run it, and it could get easily what do you call it, bamboozled that way, I suppose is a word you could use. So that you've taken an interest in figuring out all the different nuances and the process yourself, I feel like is a real testament to your, business acumen in one respect, and then also, just taking ownership of your business to the point where you want to know every avenue of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a quick question though. How long did it take you from that process of getting the first shipment and finding the interest that the interest was good on Kazizi, and then beginning to fly back to Bangladesh to learn about the process? How much time was that?
So I started actually like my business I launched in 2016, right?
Okay.
2016, but I started this process in 2015. I came in Canada 2013 March, and after 1 year, like I think mid 2014, I started to look into things. And just because I did not have the permanent residency in Canada, I was still in work permit. I just did not have the luxury to start a business,
Right.
so I had to do it like just regular buy and sell, and just like try and see. Uh, so it took me from 2015 to 26, 1 year. I was
Okay.
just preparing before my first actual shipment coming in here. But
Okay.
the first test run was 2015, I think September,
Okay.
just before winter.
Okay.
We did bring some codes and I started selling on Kijiji. And I was delivering by myself actually, like while I was en routing to deliver a pizza.
Uh-huh.
If it's the same way, I would do that my clothes delivery for free too.
Okay. So you were mostly selling local.
Yes.
Okay. And then it so I'm curious because I'm trying to picture it in my head. I'm a very visual person. Were you advertising it as quality garments, like with no logo or brand or anything? Like, was it a black hoodie or was it a black hoodie with something on it?
No, actually, so what I did not bring something, like just plain basic product. I was looking at that what we don't have in here. So we didn't had a lots of, European brands in Canada, or I
Okay.
mean in our province. So the first thing I bring is a European branded clothes
Okay.
from Bangladesh. They manufacture in Bangladesh, so I just like somehow got a hold on through my network. I got a hold on few other pieces for of their products, and I bring it in Canada because in here because I thought that if someone else is already selling something in here, there's no point for me to bring the same thing,
Right,
Okay.
right.
without advertising anything, but I can bring something which is like exceptional. Like I did
Yes.
bring like the long coats, long jackets, which you will not see on my website right now, by the way, because I did a lot of test and run, and I learned that what do well, what will not.
Uh-huh.
So that's how like I created.
Okay, and then from the time that so you made it more when you say European, what you, do you mean the style of clothes or the color or
The
what?
brand name.
Oh, it's the brand. It's a European brand. It
Okay.
was a European brand, and they were not selling in Canada. They were just selling, specifically in Europe,
Okay,
in
okay,
European countries.
okay. And another question I had was, what size is the community you're living in now?
I think we have a little over half of a million
Okay,
people, but the
okay.
city I'm living in have 240,000 people roughly.
Okay, all
Oh
right.
wow.
So there's a lot of people there.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, all right, and so that helps with the local sales too, and then and when did you know it was time to go from Kazizi or Craigslist or whatever local you were selling to a website or social media?
So, like I said, I wasn't allowed to start a business, but I applied in the meantime for my permanent residency and to be a resident in Canada.
Uh huh.
And I got my permanent residency in 2016.
Okay.
So the moment I got it, and in the meantime, like I said, I was doing pizza delivery and saving the money.
Uh huh.
I saved $28,000 doing
Oh,
Wow.
pizza
wow.
delivery,
Dang.
and I had the money in my hand, and I just started the business right away. I had my name, Wildhood Clothing.
Uh
I
huh.
was ready. I was just preparing for the opportunity to come. Now
Yes.
that when the opportunity comes, so it's not too late to prepare.
Yes.
So I got my residentship. I started my business, quit my job, and yeah, that's the first thing I started. Then I thought, oh my God, because I invested all my money just to make products because I did not have the financial knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yes.
did not know how to manage a business. Now I have like room full of inventory, but I don't have the working capital.
Yes.
Right.
So I was like stuck. I was living in a two-bedroom apartment with my friend. I was sharing.
Uh huh.
At one point, I was not able to actually afford the actual warehouse, so I had to collapse my bed, make room in my bedroom
Yes.
to store my product, and I live in 5 feet space for like 4 to 6 months
Wow.
on
Wow.
the floor.
Yes. Yeah, I can. Right, I can see it. So in that time, the clothing is being made in Bangladesh and shipped to you.
Yes, directly. It was made in Bangladesh, shipped to me, and in the time I have had like four people working with me. I mean, I feel like sometimes I work for them, and
Yeah.
I think that's the truth. Right now I have 16, and I work for
Oh,
Wow.
16
wow.
people.
I love how you say that. You work for 16 people.
I work for 16 people. It's crazy. I don't know how like for example, Gary Vee works for 800 people, or I don't know how many people he works with. It's overwhelming.
Yeah, it's a lot. So tell me what was the big you said that when you quit your job and you're doing the you don't have enough for the warehouse, so you're doing it out of your apartment with your friend and you're working with four or five people, but you didn't have the business knowledge yet. Uh, when did it? What did you do next? Did you just start trying to put more ads in, or did you call your friends? What was your next step?
So one of the things I was really good at is actually like asking people to, like if I'm stuck, I would ask whoever right next to me, hey, do you know this? Because one of the things which is a beauty in here, living in Newfoundland, is if you ask someone, for help, if they can't, they know someone who can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was just like always, and I have learned this, like if you don't ask, the answer is always no.
Yeah.
Yes.
And no one is gonna knock at my door asking me, hey, do you need help or do you need this or this? So yeah, I always ask people, and I'm glad to say, and I'm very proud that I did that, and I have had so much help during that time, and that's why I'm here. Not because that I just hustle, but I have had so much help during the process to be
Yes.
here. And
Yes.
also when I had like I was stuck like, oh my God, what should I do? uh, I again picked up a job. I again picked up the delivery job. I started working at a night shift in a Dominion store. I
Okay.
just like at night I was cleaning stores, and in the day I was like introduced being a CEO of Wildhood Clothing.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
I think a lot of people don't realize that, those early years when you're getting started are a lot like that for some people. Like it's just you're working different jobs, you're working this thing you're trying to build at night or during the day or vice versa, whichever, your paying job is and I feel like that it's your story is definitely one that shows, perseverance and asking questions and figuring out figuring out a whole new country and a way of life, and the community kind of you asking for help and they filled that hole is amazing. And I think your story shows, just how much it takes to make a business successful. It's not just lightning in a bottle. Usually it takes a lot of hard work and sacrifice, and it's been
Absolutely.
interesting hearing all of that. So now you say that you guys actually produce the clothing yourselves, correct?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so you've switched over at some point from ordering your product from Bangladesh and having it shipped to you. Now you do it in-house. What was that transition like? Obviously, there's a learning curve that has to be met there. What else did you have to do?
Yeah, so actually, like I was really focused on building a team first, because
Okay.
I knew that like I couldn't do it sitting in here,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
So I was focused. Like I hired so many people, and I fired even more.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, I was just looking for the like-minded individual who sees the vision,
Yes.
and
Yes.
and I always hired the people. I tried to hire the smartest people, that to tell me what to do, not
Yeah.
hiring them and me telling them what to do,
Yeah.
because I just wanted someone who is like, the authority of doing something that they're the best at.
Yeah. I mean,
So
hiring people that fill gaps in your own knowledge is probably the best way to go.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like for an example, when I was stuck, I again started doing pizza delivery. I was working while hiring someone to working on my social media, or creating something and giving my money that I was earning to them. I was
Yeah.
paying them to work pizza delivery, running my business, because I wasn't good at it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we've had that experience with a lot of businesses where they're like, I don't know anything about this particular part. I'm going to have to pay somebody else to do it. And when you do that, I feel like it makes you more successful because, business owners can't run every aspect of their business 100% themselves.
No, you cannot.
So you have to find those people to help you fill those gaps out in your knowledge and the things that you're not so good at. Some people are really good at being organized and structuring things very well, and other people are more creative. And you've got to figure out where you fit in, and then fill those spaces with the people that are better at those things. At least that's been my experience. I'm sure you're finding that out yourself.
Yeah. So yeah, in that time, like I was just looking that what do I need? Who do I need to do this? Or like what kind of like necessary steps I need to take in order to make a T-shirt from scratch. Okay, we need yarn, we need a measurement chart, we need a pattern, we need a design, we need different kind of fabrics, we need the hem, we need like all like different dia parameter, like what parameter we're gonna make this clothes from, and is it gonna shrink, pre-shrink, like all those different stuffs. Then I map it out who can do what,
Yes.
Yeah.
and gladly, like I got, like I said, so much help. And I was talking to my cousin who is now taking care of all of my knitting sections, like the full knitting and everything. And then he seems like that he thought that we need a fitment person because we have had some problem with the fitment. It's a different sizing issue from Asia to North America. So we
Yeah.
have hired a fitment guy who right now has like I think 20 years of experience working with Puma, Nike, Adidas, like the big brands, you
Oh,
name
wow.
it. Right. So yeah, we did hire him. Then we thought that okay, we are having clients. We need a graphic designer to show mock-ups to the clients, or working on our own stuff, or making those tags, labels, accessories, like hang tag, polybags, cartoons, all this stuff. We hired another one, and that's how slowly, as we grow, our team grew.
Okay. And what would you say? Like I say, I'm curious because in a lot of stories I hear a moment when you knew that it worked, or it was working. You do seem to follow the principle of like the process is so important, and moving from one step to step 2 to step 3 to step 4. Was there a moment though when you knew like, oh, okay, I'm paying all my bills or I'm paying all my employees, this is really gonna work?
No, not really. No, it's just hard, Like
Yes.
when you were doing business, especially like where I was, like I have noticed that, like, okay, I'm the last person to get paid.
Yes.
Right.
Sometimes I don't get paid.
Yes.
Yeah.
I still didn't get paid. I didn't pay myself anything.
Right.
whether I fit the business.
Uh-huh.
Right. So, but it's just the fulfillment of doing something that you are always. It's just the hope. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. You
Yes.
know.
Yes.
So it's just the picture in my head. It has already happened. Like where I want to be.
Uh-huh.
I just see the time didn't catch up yet.
Yes,
Gotcha.
If that
absolutely.
makes sense. But no, I was just like living, like one day at a time. And I can see like the progress every day. If someone told me about my clothes that, oh man, this is something really, like I have had so many emails and DMs that like I have never experienced something like this before.
Uh-huh.
And that is something will never allow me to quit,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So what's next for your you say you work for 16 people now, or rather you have 16, coworkers or employees. What
Yes.
what is the are you guys what's the next step for Wildhood?
Uh, I want to build a machine, like I said, like I just want to be the machine. I want to create. I want to work more. I want to put out more positivity, more optimism. I want to help as many people as I can.
Mhm.
In any other aspects of life. Either financially, or if my story can motivate someone, or inspire someone
Mhm.
to take charge on their life. I think that I'm happy and successful, and I just want to provide a lot for the families that work with me. So I, through my clothing, whoever works, 16 people is in my team, but when we do any production, like there's hundreds of people works with that. If I'm making like 5,000 hoodies,
Mhm.
it's
Right.
just my team who actually put everything together. But then you know the floor who works on the floor, like the workers.
Mhm.
So I give back to their families for their children's betterment, because
Mhm.
every single one I met during this whole process, I asked them like, what is it makes you work harder the next day, not knowing that your life is gonna change forever or significantly, because you are putting the same effort but getting the same result every day.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So one thing they get back to me is that we know that we cannot change our fate, or we don't have the time now, we don't have the resources, this is all we knew from our lifetime, but we can do something to better our children's life. So I give back something to them. It's not a whole lot, but a little catalyst maybe for a better future for their children's.
Absolutely. I think I hear so much heart in what you're saying, and I live in a very small, what I consider small community in Texas. So there's maybe 40,000 people in the city that I live in,
What
and
city do you live in?
Lufkin, Texas.
Okay, my brother lives in Texas too. He lives in Lubbock.
Okay, yeah. See, that's
He's about 8 hours away from us.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Texas is much larger than most people realize. I live maybe an hour from Louisiana,
Okay.
in between Houston and Dallas,
Mm-hmm.
and Shreveport, if you make a triangle out of those. So it's a very small area in the deep piney woods, as we call it, of East Texas, and it's very community oriented, very much like you're describing, and I think that you and I are very similar in that way, in the way of we don't think so much to the hours we're putting in today, but we do think a lot about what's going to happen to the children, not only our children, but the people we work with, their children, and the children we don't know. In other
Mm-hmm.
words, the children of the community. But one of the problems that I've run into in business, because I run a coffee shop here that I started in 2011, and now I run a tattoo shop that I started in 2014, and
Yes.
and now I have this podcast that I do with Sarah and Megan and Mike. So one of the things that I keep running into, though, is for me, a lot of times it's not my heart that I struggle on. It's the fact that I don't know the practical things to do. So, for instance, I'll use social media very productively for 3 months, and then I get so busy in the work, I stop using social media. Or maybe I do really good on Google Ads, and then I have so much business that I can't keep up, and so I quit doing Google Ads. So my question to you is, have have you have you found something in business that could be a help to someone else that's like that? In other words, how do you sell the most clothes or get the most orders?
So to answer your question, I think Sarah asked earlier, I guess, if I am doing ads or something, I today, till
Hmm.
today, I
Yes.
actually haven't ran any ads. Most of my business came from word of mouth
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
or from social media posts, but this is the first time we're actually running ads for our Grateful New York project. The new hoodie we're just putting out for the first time ever,
Okay.
because what I was really focused on, like laser focused, is I didn't want it to sell something until I am certain that this is the best thing.
Yes.
So you wanted a quality product to start with.
I wanted a quality product. I wanted to sleep at night, like without worrying that tomorrow morning I have to open up 10 mails with complaints.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
mean, that's smart, I think. Start with a
Yes.
so
quality product and build the foundation from there.
the first thing I was just building, because like, to be honest with you, I leave money. I don't have a whole lot of money, but I still do leave a lot of money on the table,
Yes.
just because I'm not sure. Because I know the money is there, it's already printed. It's gonna be there forever.
Sure.
But am I ready for it? I wasn't in that time, but now I am,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have all the resources in place. Anytime
Yes.
I need, I can just like take it from there.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, we're very much ready now.
Are you with the Grateful New York project? That's your most recent project with David Rock, or D Rock as most people know him. Is that do you guys take orders and then build the product, or do you make 5,000 and then try to sell them?
No, so what happened? This is our fourth collaboration product with David. The first one we did is go dream, go do. Then the
Mm-hmm.
second one we did is hard work forever pays. Then
Yes.
third one we did is dream on. And the fourth one we're doing grateful. So is the design is on the front says grateful, and on the sleeve it says XO, and
Okay.
on the body it says happiness is success.
Yes.
Uh, and on the back, we have 8 different languages of grateful.
Oh,
So we
Oh,
have
that's
wow.
amazing.
Japanese, Chinese.
That's cool.
It's gonna be a really cool hoodie, and we're also offering, like every single one who is pre-ordering, a free T-shirt with the same design.
Oh,
Oh, awesome.
nice.
That's
Nice.
And
incredible.
so we are actually first time we are making this hoodie 1,000 pieces. Is already we just started the dyeing process of the fabric
Uh-huh.
yesterday. So we are dyeing the fabric now.
Okay.
So, but starting taking pre-orders from tomorrow. So when it's it will be done. I think 20th of June,
Okay.
ready to ship. So once it's ready, so people don't need to wait too long.
Right, right.
And also, we didn't want it to hold this inventory that okay, we make it, then we start promoting,
Uh-huh.
but we are promoting while we are making it.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And is this collaborations like this, is it a big part of your business, or is the big part of your business still local?
No, actually, it's growing internationally. We have sold so far 19 different countries,
Okay.
Oh, wow.
and is and thanks to David, just doing this collaboration with him because he has bigger reach, like bigger audience, and they travel all over the world. It helped me to build my business, and also there's another revenue stream for my business is like we make garments for other clothing brands too. So what we do is actually we brand based.
Okay.
Like we make the same branding products for other companies with their own label tags and everything. We just
Okay.
help them making it.
So, for instance, if my coffee shop, if I wanted to do a hoodie and a T-shirt, I could get in contact with you
Absolutely.
and have the logo on the hoodie and on the shirt, and
Yes,
you would make a certain amount of pieces for a set price, and then send them to me, and then I could resell them here in Texas.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So not only just outside logo and stuff, if we want something, we have certain, quantities
Mm-hmm.
because we make everything from scratch, so it has to be a certain quantity for making it and branding it your own brand. Like outside is okay, but like if you want like your tags inside, like the main level or the care level or the hang tag,
Yes.
with your logos and stuff. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Right now we're working, I think like 7 or 8 businesses right now. We're working, making clothes for them as usual.
And how many, like when you say you have to have because I know exactly what you're talking about. I just got some shirts for the coffee shop screen printed. And but there's someone else's tags in the shirt.
Yes.
So how many do you have to do something like that?
So it depends. Like for an example, right now I have like 7 different productions going on, right?
Uh-huh.
So if you want like 100% cotton shirt, which I'm already producing for someone else, I could just easily add it like 100 or 200 pieces for you. But
Okay.
if you want something, let's say 65% cotton, 30% polyester, and 5% spandex,
Uh-huh.
like different construction or consumptions, then I have to make it like at least 400 pieces.
Okay. Okay. Very good.
So I'm guessing now you're not working out of your bedroom anymore.
No, actually, so what happened in there, like while I was living in there, one day my roommate came to me and he got married and he said, like, you got to leave the house. And I was like, okay. And,
Yeah.
it was hard, but I wish if I could live in that place for like 2 more months, I would be more stronger. I would be like, I would have like more knowledge. I would learn so much more. I would think differently. Like I would have more potential to do good things
Yes.
or great things.
Yeah. Yeah,
No, I
definitely.
moved now. My wife came, joined me in 2017. We're living together.
So you got
And
married and she came over here. Oh,
oh
awesome.
yes, missed that part. Yes, I fly back to my country and we got married and yeah, finally
That's
she came
lovely.
over.
That's awesome. That's good. I mean, long distance relationships are hard, so it's a good thing you
It
guys are now on
is.
the same continent.
I was relationship with her since 2008.
Oh,
I moved
wow.
in here 2013. Then I went back in 2014. 2014, yes, I got married and she finished her degree. She came in 2017.
Does she help you at all with your business or she do something completely different?
Oh, she works at the bank.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like, she always told me that, like, how do I do that? Like, so she knows that how I, like, run, like, what I do, like, continuously moving or doing something. So, just like, so stressful, but she's the best thing that have ever happened with me.
Aw, well, that's
And
cute.
yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
she's the strength, I think, encouragement, like you name it. Like I got everything. Without support, like I said, if you don't get support from your home, like you'll never be successful living together.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
definitely. What do you think? What kind of advice do you have to someone who is going to want to start their own business or is struggling running their business? You have had a lot of obstacles and a lot of things you've overcome, language barriers, culture barriers, living in a different place from your loved one. What piece of advice would you give to somebody, or what piece of advice did you receive when you were starting out that's really helped you and has made an impact on you?
That's a really, really great question. So, I'm just thinking of like I can answer it like in so many different ways, but I'm
Sure.
just thinking which one is more appropriate. I think as a human, we have an instinct. I think I mean, we automatically feel something.
Yeah.
If we feel something, we should just do it.
Yeah.
Not worrying about the outcome. Because before you even put it into work, you just cannot worry about outcome. And I would say like there's no bad ideas. It's just like pure bad executions.
Yes.
You know, if you can't execute properly, it's a bad idea. We call it bad idea, but was it? What is the measure of to proving that it was a bad idea?
Right.
So I
Yeah.
would just say to someone, just start, don't worry, everything works out, and focus on like not stop listening to the negative voices in your own head, not other people, but to yourself when you talk to yourself. We are human. We talk ourselves more than anyone else,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So I think like we need to stop that voice, telling us that we cannot, or I don't have this, I don't have that. It's not like what resources you have, you
Mm-hmm.
don't have, but it's like, what are you doing with what you have?
Yeah.
If you
Absolutely.
have nothing, you have two hands. Like I had nothing when I came to this country.
Exactly. I mean, it was a
You know,
lot of hard work and sacrifice based on everything you've said that
Yes, exactly.
led you to this place. And
Like I came with two suitcases, like full of clothes,
yeah.
just for myself for personal use.
Yeah.
And now I'm selling close to 17 countries.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
So
that's
it's just
amazing.
like, how can you actually, and always like try to give value, like give, 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 give. Beautiful things happen when you give without expectations. We are doing this collaboration with David because I gave him without any expectations.
Yeah.
Yes.
I haven't met him yet in person. We
Oh,
were
Right.
supposed to meet in a conference. We are invited to speak in an event in Ontario with Sir Richard Branson, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, because of the pandemic, it got postponed.
Yes.
yeah.
But I haven't met him. I came from Bangladesh, living in Canada, made a collaboration deal with David Rock, who is living in New York.
Yes.
Haven't met him, and like we are best friends.
Yes.
You
What a
know?
world we live in, right? That
Yeah.
technology has allowed us to have these relationships with people that we wouldn't maybe normally have otherwise met without the internet. And I think
What?
that's great.
Absolutely. Saeed, I'm wondering, what do you have a big family? Do you have brothers or sisters?
Yes, I have two brothers and two sisters, and I'm the eldest.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so we also have that in common.
Oh,
I have six
amazing.
brothers and one sisters, and
Uh,
He's the
and
oldest.
I'm the oldest.
oh man, like without any one of them, life would be so like so unfulfilled.
Yes, absolutely. I think family definitely the community that you make your family and of course your brothers and sisters have such an impact on that. Um, what would you say is one thing that you need to do better at as a CEO?
More empathy, more positivity, and I would say just like, more patience.
Okay. Do you struggle with how many employees you have getting upset when things don't go right, or do you struggle in a different way?
No, I do not actually. No. We always like the first thing I do is with my team is if something is goes wrong, which is like pretty much every day something is
Yes.
going wrong. Like I just want to hear the bad news first. I just want to
Yes.
say like, okay, so we can fix on that, rather than dwelling on it or
Okay.
try to hide it. How can we fix if something is going wrong? And we work as a team, and like we're all human. We make mistakes. Doesn't matter if it's me or it's the like the garbage man or
Yeah.
like anyone else.
Absolutely. And how has do you spend a lot of time creating content for social media, or do you spend most of your time running the business?
I spent most of the time running the business.
Yes.
So what I did is in the past, I just like handed my clothing items to someone who can provide me content. But
Yes.
what I am struggling right now is actually the captions. There's so many captions in my head, but like since the language barrier, which I'm now focused on to how can I like get better at like writing captions or doing it on my own, because the way I want to see the world and I want to communicate with my audience,
Hmm.
I don't think that anyone else can do it in that way.
Oh,
Okay.
sure, definitely.
You
Eh,
know?
I would, I've got to be honest with you. I really want to see, if, I hope this is coming across that you can hear my energy and accept this encouragement because that's what it is. Communicate it in whatever way you feel best. I have to be completely honest with you. If you write it in your native language, I will just hit translation on Instagram.
That's true.
Like I really will.
Never thought about it.
Ever since I knew this interview was going to happen, I keep checking back with your personal accounts and with Wildhood and with Grateful New York, and I keep wanting, because I can tell you're on the verge of making the transition from the hard-working, the in the dirt, as Gary Vee says, the in the dirt stuff. You're in the process of making the transition from that into greatness. But whatever way you need to say it, just say it, brother. Like we need. I need to hear it
that way.
Yeah.
I need to hear it. I keep looking, and as a fellow business owner, you own a business, I own a business. That's one of the reasons I love D-Rock so much is you know, because I have a bad moment, and maybe I struggle with my thoughts in my head. My team is doing a great job. Everyone's working. Everything's going well. But maybe I know that this bill is coming in tomorrow, and it's weighing in my mind. And then I get on Instagram, and there's D-Rock working on something. And it's such an encouragement to me. And I think you have that spirit in you to do that as well.
Yeah. Definitely.
I can sense it from you. Like you really have what it takes, and
Thank you so much.
Whatever language you want to say it in, say it.
Just say
when
it.
when I don't know what language, but I can sense an energy from someone, I'll even take it to. Maybe I'm weird, but I'll take it to Google and get it translated.
Yeah.
And then oh yeah, now I know what Saeed said. You know it.
Thank you so much, man. I actually, it changes a lot of things, you know. It makes everything easier and interesting to the community.
Yes.
Well, it's just authentically you. You know, that's your history. That's your ancestry. That's where you come from. And so if it means you need to speak in whatever your native language is, I'm like Ben. I'm a photographer. On my personal account, a lot of people follow me from all over the world, and I follow them, and they write in their native language, and I obviously don't speak more than a couple. So I'm like, okay, gotta go see, what are they talking about? I'm curious, and it's interesting because it kind of pulls you out of this bubble that you kind of live in sometimes, where you're just going through life and you're not really paying attention. And when you come across something like that where you have to kind of stop and consciously go, oh, I want to know what they're saying because I don't speak that language, I think it kind of gives pause to people sometimes and go, oh yeah, that other people do exist in the world, and other people have these other ways of doing things. And it in today's world, I feel like we just need more of that open-mindedness and stopping and taking a minute to get out of our own little bubble and see what everybody else is doing. And I think that's great advice, honestly. Don't worry too much about what it says. Just say from your heart, and that's gonna make it great.
You said I'll send you a text of this later. I mean a message on Twitter or something, but I have a bunch of sticky notes.
He's been taking notes.
I have to.
Please do that.
I'm an artist, and so I have to work with my hands, or I will leave. But you said very early on, I wanted to be the machine. And
did I?
You did. Very early in the interview, you said I wanted to be the machine. Yeah. But I thought, what a great message.
Yeah.
What a great. That's it. You could put that caption on every single post for the rest of the year. I want to be the machine. I, Saeed, will be the machine. It because some people will take it negatively, but some people will take it positively and understand the message. And I think that's. I'm 40. I just turned 41, and I'm the oldest of 8 kids. My mother and father still live in the city here. I have 3 children. I have 5 employees now at this business and maybe 12 at the other business. And one of the things I struggled with the longest was that my father was a preacher. And so I was trying to speak in his language. And I don't mean English or Arabic. I mean, I was trying to speak in the language of his religion, which out of respect I do when I am at his home. But I had to find my own voice. And for instance, I swear a lot. Yeah, I mean, I do. I don't. That's one of the things I like about Gary Vee is that he swears too. But I don't have to use that language.
No, it's not swearing. I feel like it's the energy you're putting out. It's the energy you feel. You're putting it out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for me, so by finding my voice, I'm just learning it. Kindness is a voice, and I'm just learning that. It's very slow. It's a very slow process for me, but I don't know. I'm very encouraged speaking with you today. There's so much. There's so much good in what you're doing, and I feel like that I now want to join you in what you're doing. I want to be a part of it, and I think the more of your voice you use, other people will feel very similar.
Yeah,
They will want to
definitely.
join you as well.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And this is another reason that we are doing this interview. I like the day I actually tweeted that hey, dear, I'm looking for more interviews. If you can, spread it in the community.
Yeah.
The night before we were chatting, like me and David, for 4.5 hours over the phone, and he gave me like so much. He said, "Bro, you need to do this tomorrow. If you don't do this, bro, you need to do this." And I just did it, and here I am. I think you're right, and I think I lack the confidence, but now I want to share my message, and that's what we're doing right now.
Yes.
And I want to share it more. And and also like I don't want to blame myself at the same time because I was crazy busy, like doing all these things together.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So couldn't allocate any time specifically, but now like I said, that I think that I'm prepared. I have everything. Like I'm ready for the opportunities, or ready to communicate with anyone, and I have the answers.
Yes, absolutely. I think you have the heart for it also, and definitely the confidence comes into play. But the way I view the confidence is just like a business. You already have. You've already trained those muscles to be so busy. Now you just have to apply those strong muscles that you have for the business. You have to apply them to the confident issue, which is just going, no, this is just like my team at the warehouse, just like my team when we dye new when we start a new batch of fabric to make the fabric, to dye the fabric, to make the clothes, just like that. This is the new process. I have to add something every day. I have to add
Absolutely.
something to find a podcast to be on, or to speak to
Couldn't agree
Instagram,
more.
to speak to Instagram Live, or to whatever it is that you do. And I can promise you that the four of us on this podcast, we will absolutely be there cheering you on.
Definitely.
and providing feedback as we can, because we want to see you succeed.
Love you guys. It means a lot to me. Means a lot, really. Like I already, like, there's so many ideas is popping up in my head.
Yeah.
And by the way, like, I'm doing a lot of podcasts. Like, since that post, I have done like already 3 now, and already like 4 or 5 I think lined up over the next 2 weeks.
Nice.
That's amazing.
I mean, I think that just shows the growth and the scaling that your business is having right now, and I think that's a testament to your hard work. Saeed, you've had a very inspiring story today, and anytime I think, oh, it's so hard, I'm going to have to think back to what you've said today and go, it really hasn't been that hard for me. It's been pretty easy. I didn't leave my home and everything I knew and go and start a new business, somewhere else and not know the language, and that's hard work right there. So I'm going to keep that in mind anytime I start getting down and think that everything's just so hard, and I didn't have to do it like that. So thank you so much for kind of giving us all a different perspective, especially from somebody as an immigrant going to another country, starting a business. That's been a delight to listen to you today. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule. And talking with us about your story. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you on Instagram or Facebook or social media of any kind, your website, and that way our listeners can maybe go buy some of your goods.
Awesome. Yeah. Oh, first of all, thank you so much to every one of you, you, Ben, Megan, for having me.
Definitely.
And giving your time, listening my stories. And we're just starting, to be honest.
Absolutely.
It's just starting.
Yeah.
There's many more to come, and hopefully we will, create something together, build something together. So for anyone, if they want to follow us, they can follow on Instagram, Wildhood _ on Facebook, Wildhood Clothing, and my personal Instagram is newfie _ seed, SID, and I'm available also. Actually, Instagram is better, DM me I run both of my accounts, Wildhood and my personal one.
Okay.
So just DM me, and I try to get back to pretty quick. Also, if anyone wants, they can email me at saeed@wildhoodclothing.ca.
Absolutely.
Okay. Good deal. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for us today. Thank you so much, Saeed, for telling your story and for being a part of our podcast. We want to hear everybody else's stories, so be a part of our podcast and share your story. Visit our website at PaynePoints.com, and all of our social media is linked there. Saeed, I hope you have a great day and the rest of your week, and we'll look forward to all the things that you guys have coming out. And I think I'm going to have to pre-order one of these hoodies you've been talking about.
Amazing. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, you have a great day. And to everyone out there, we hope you have a great day as well. That's going to be it for us. Thanks so much.